Hey there, coin enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of rare and valuable coins, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving into a coin that's truly a gem in the world of numismatics, the 1962 D Lincoln penny. This coin is not just another penny in your pocket change. It's a symbol of history, and it could be worth a small fortune. We'll explore its fascinating history, unique features, and what makes it so valuable. So, stick around until the end, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest coin treasures. Let's get started. First, let's take a quick look back at history. The Lincoln penny has been a staple in American currency since 1909, created to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The 1962 D penny is part of the Memorial Series, which was introduced in 1959, replacing the wheat design that had been in circulation for nearly 50 years. This particular penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark located on the reverse side, just beneath the Lincoln Memorial. In 1962, a total of 4.2 billion pennies were minted, and the coin was made of a 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc composition, which was standard for most pennies in that era. But here's the twist. While most of these pennies are relatively common and worth just a few cents, some rare 1962 D pennies have been discovered with mistakes or errors that have made them worth millions of dollars. Now, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. On the obverse side, you'll find a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The inscription, "In God We Trust," is on the top, with the year 1962, just below Lincoln's bust. But it's on the reverse side that we find the mint mark, a small D just beneath the Lincoln Memorial. This is important because the mint mark tells us where the coin was produced. The D mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in Denver, at the Denver Mint, which is one of the most famous mints in the US. The reverse also features the words E pluribus unum and the denomination 1 cent, along with the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the wheat ears from the previous design. Now, the D mint mark might seem like a small detail, but it can make a huge difference in value. The 1962 D Lincoln penny is one of the most commonly found pennies from this year, but there are rare variations that can make certain coins incredibly valuable. You see, mint marks help collectors determine the rarity and uniqueness of a coin. The 1962 D penny was produced in a large quantity, but when you come across one in excellent condition or with a rare error, it can be worth far more than face value. The D mint mark indicates that it was produced in Denver, which is key for identifying those rare and valuable specimens. Let's talk about the errors that can drastically increase the value of the 1962 D penny. There are a few different types of errors that collectors look for, and they can make all the difference when it comes to pricing. For example, some of these pennies have been found with double die errors, where the design appears doubled or blurry. These errors happen when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, leaving behind multiple impressions on the coin. This results in a double image on the text or features, making the coin much more valuable to collectors. Other types of errors include off-center strikes, where the coin's design is stamped off-center, leaving part of the design missing. These errors are much rarer, and coins with these defects can fetch thousands or even millions of dollars in some cases. So, how much could a 1962 D penny be worth? Well, the value depends on a few factors, including condition, rarity, and whether the coin has any of the rare errors we just mentioned. A normal 1962 D penny in average condition is only worth about 1 to 2 cents, not much more than its face value. However, a highly graded 1962 D penny in mint state condition, graded MS-65 or higher, can sell for anywhere from $10 to $50 depending on the specific market. But when you get into rare error varieties like the double die or off-center strikes, the value skyrockets. Some of these coins have been known to sell for thousands or even millions of dollars at auctions. One particularly rare 1962 D penny with a major double die error was sold for an incredible $2 million. That's right, $2 million for a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent. So, why is this coin worth millions? Well, When a coin is in perfect condition and has an error that makes it stand out from the rest, collectors will go crazy for it. Coin collectors are always looking for rare finds to complete their collections, and when a mistake like this occurs, it adds a level of excitement and rarity that no one can ignore. Collectors often pay top dollar for coins that were struck incorrectly because these errors are unique and very limited. The 1962 D penny is especially valuable because it's part of a series that was mass-produced, so finding a perfect example with a rare error is like finding a needle in a haystack. That rarity drives up the price, and suddenly, that humble penny could be worth a fortune. So, there you have it. The 1962 D Lincoln penny might just be a simple coin in your pocket, but with the right features, errors, and condition, it could be worth millions of dollars. If you're out there coin hunting, keep an eye out for those rare errors. You never know what treasures you might find. And if you loved learning about the 1962 D Lincoln penny, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below with your favorite rare coin find. We love hearing from you. 1976 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, when you think of rare pennies, you might picture those famous error coins or minting mistakes that can fetch huge prices. But the 1976 D Lincoln penny, while not technically an error coin, is still one you should keep an eye out for because it has a fascinating history and some serious value. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's uncover why this penny is more than just pocket change. To understand why the 1976 D Lincoln penny is so special, we need to go back to 1976. It was a monumental year for the United States. Not only did the country celebrate its 200th birthday with the bicentennial celebration, but this was also the year that the U.S. Mint made some significant changes to the coinage that we see today. Now, you might be familiar with the iconic Lincoln penny. First struck in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's centennial, the Lincoln penny quickly became a staple in American coinage. But by 1976, the U.S. Mint was focused on producing a special version of the penny to coincide with the bicentennial celebrations. This year marked the last time the penny would feature a normal design for quite a while, until the next major redesign in 2009. So, what's so interesting about the 1976 D penny? Let's start with the D Mint mark. That D stands for Denver, the location of one of the U.S. Mint facilities that produce coins. While most 1976 pennies were minted in Denver, it's important to note that only a small number of these coins are particularly rare and valuable. Now let's talk about the coin itself. The 1976 D Lincoln penny is made from the familiar copper-clad composition, which was the standard at the time. But beyond the basic metal, this coin features the classic Lincoln design, Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse. That's the front of the coin, with the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1976 inscribed around his image. The reverse of the coin shows the familiar 1 cent wording, as well as the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which had been the design on the reverse since 1959. But here's the kicker. While the 1976 D penny is not an error coin in the traditional sense, the quality of some of these coins varied significantly. Some have characteristics that make them stand out, particularly in the form of unusual die markings and subtle variations in the strike. These variations make some 1976 D pennies particularly attractive to collectors. Now, let's get to the fun part. Why this penny is worth millions. You might think, it's just a regular penny from 1976. How could it be worth anything significant? Well, the value of the 1976 D penny, like most rare coins, is determined by its rarity and condition. Most of the 1976 D pennies you'll find in circulation are worth just a penny, or maybe a little more depending on their condition. But here's where things get interesting. The high-grade versions of this coin, those that have been well preserved over the years, can be worth significantly more. If you manage to find a 1976 D penny in mint state condition, meaning it's almost flawless with no noticeable wear, you could see values anywhere from $10 to $50 or more in numismatic circles. But what if we're talking about the super rare ones? The ones with special die errors, variations, or minting inconsistencies? That's where the real money is. A flawless, High-grade 1970-60 penny with error markings can be worth thousands of dollars, with some reaching into the six-figure range. So why are some of these pennies worth millions? Well, rare coins are all about scarcity and demand. The 1970-60 penny, while not incredibly rare in terms of overall mintage, does have certain characteristics that collectors value. For example, if you come across one that has been preserved in perfect condition or has an unusual die flaw, collectors are willing to pay big money for it. Also, don't forget the impact of graded coins. Coins that are graded by professional services, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, hold more value because their condition is certified and guaranteed. A 1970-60 penny that gets a perfect score of MS-70, mint state, perfect condition, could fetch an incredible price at auction. Plus, there's the general fascination with anything bicentennial related. The 1970-60 penny, while part of the standard series, carries a bit of that bicentennial charm with it, making it desirable to a certain niche of collectors who want to own pieces of U.S. history. So how can you spot a rare 1970-60 penny in your collection or pocket change? Check the obverse side of the penny for the D mint mark. This is crucial since the 1976 D is the Denver minted version. If the penny looks almost brand new and has no noticeable wear, it could be worth more. High-grade pennies from this year are in demand. Some of the most valuable 1970-60 pennies have minting errors. Look for things like double dies, which can make certain details of the coin appear to be doubled. These errors are highly prized by collectors. If you think you have a special 1970-60 penny, it's always worth getting it professionally graded. The difference between a penny worth a few dollars and one worth thousands can depend on the condition and grade. And there you have it. The 1970-60 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might just be a small, seemingly ordinary coin, but with the right features, condition, and some luck, it can be worth millions. So, if you find one in your change, take a close look. It could be worth more than you think. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest discoveries. And leave a comment below. Do you have any 1970-60 pennies in your collection? Let me know if you found any hidden treasures. 1977 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It's a coin that, despite its humble appearance, has the potential to make you a fortune if you happen to find it tucked away in your coin jar or change bowl. Stay tuned, because this coin's history and the reason it's worth millions might just surprise you. First, let's take a look at the basics. The 1977 Lincoln penny is, at first glance, not too different from any other penny that you might come across in your pocket change. It features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, and has a copper composition, though later pennies after 1982 were made with a copper-plated zinc mixture. But here's the twist. The 1977 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is not just any ordinary coin. You see, most U.S. pennies have a mint mark, which is a small letter on the coin that indicates where it was minted. It's either a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or a blank space if it's from the Philadelphia Mint. But what makes the 1977 No Mint Mark so rare and valuable is the absence of that mint mark. This seemingly small detail is what makes collectors lose their minds over it. Now you might be wondering, why is the lack of a mint mark such a big deal? Well, let's break it down. In 1977, most Lincoln pennies were minted at either the Denver or Philadelphia mints. But here's the thing, the U.S. Mint accidentally left off the mint mark from a number of these coins. While some people may consider this a simple oops moment in history, collectors see it as a rare treasure. After all, an error like this means the coin is one of a kind, or at least one of a very small number still in circulation. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history. So, what makes this coin worth millions? Well, the short answer is rarity. When it comes to coins, rarity is the key factor in determining value. The 1977 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is rare because it was produced in very limited numbers, and it wasn't noticed by many people at the time. People simply didn't realize its potential value. Today, only a handful of these coins have survived, making them highly coveted by collectors. In terms of value, a typical 1977 no-mint mark penny in average condition might be worth anywhere from $500 to $1,500. But if it's in mint condition, meaning it looks almost like it did when it was first produced, the value skyrockets. Some have been sold for as much as $5,000 to $7,000 at auction. But here's the catch: if you find one in top-notch condition, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $10,000, or even more, depending on how rare and well-preserved it is. And if you manage to find one with a unique characteristic or even more imperfections, the value could jump even higher. Alright, let's talk about how you can identify this elusive penny in your own collection. The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny will have all the usual features of a 1977 penny: Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what sets it apart is the absence of the mint mark just beneath the date. That's right, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just a smooth blank space. Be sure to check your pennies carefully. Sometimes the mint mark can be worn off, or it may appear faint, making it harder to spot. However, if you find that clean, blank space, you could be holding on to something incredibly valuable. But what makes the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny such a hot commodity among collectors? Well, aside from its rarity, there's something special about the story behind it. For collectors, it represents a tiny but significant blip in U.S. mint history, a unique era that can never be recreated. It's this combination of rarity, historical importance, and the story that accompanies it that makes this coin so sought after. If you happen to find a 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and you're looking to sell it, there are a few options. You can visit local coin dealers or attend coin shows to get it appraised. But if you're after the best possible price, selling through an online auction platform, like eBay or Heritage Auctions, might get you the biggest return. Just make sure to have the coin professionally graded, as that can significantly affect its value. So, there you have it, the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a simple but extremely valuable coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now. Who knew a mistake from the US Mint could turn into a potential fortune? If you've got one, it might be time to take a closer look and see if you've just uncovered your own personal treasure. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. 1984 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little piece of history might be hiding in your coin jar right now, and it could be worth millions. That's right, millions! Stick around, because we're going to uncover the secrets behind this rare gem and why it's causing such a stir in the numismatic world. Let's start with some context. The Abraham Lincoln penny first entered circulation in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of President Lincoln's birth. The coin, featuring Lincoln's iconic portrait, has become a staple of American currency ever since. But while most pennies are fairly common, the 1984 no-mint mark version has earned a reputation for being extraordinarily rare and incredibly valuable. Typically, U.S. coins have a mint mark, indicating which of the U.S. mint facilities produced them. Most coins from 1984, for instance, carry a D mint mark if they were minted in Denver or an S mint mark if they were minted in San Francisco. But here's where things get interesting. In 1984, a small number of pennies were produced without any mint mark at all. This was a rare error that, at the time, went unnoticed. Fast forward to today, and these coins are sought after by collectors and investors alike, fetching prices in the millions of dollars. So, what makes the 1984 no-mint mark penny so special? It's all about the error. A small batch of pennies produced at the Philadelphia Mint during that year mistakenly didn't get the usual mint mark. Normally, pennies produced in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, but because of the way coins were handled in the mid-1980s, this batch of pennies was expected to have the same mint marks as their Denver or San Francisco counterparts. That's where the confusion began. The 1984 no-mint mark penny has the same design as other Lincoln pennies from the year. On the obverse front, you'll find President Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the inscription, "In God We Trust," and the year, 1984, inscribed at the bottom. On the reverse, you'll see the classic design of the Lincoln Memorial with the words, "E pluribus unum," and 1 cent, beneath it. But the crucial difference is that these pennies lack the mint mark, that small DS or P, and that's what sets them apart and makes them so valuable. Over the years, this error has come to be known as the 1984 no mint mark penny value and why it's worth so much. Now, let's talk about why this coin is worth so much. First off, rarity plays a huge role in a coin's value. While most 1984 pennies are worth just a cent, the 1984 no mint mark penny is extremely rare. Estimates suggest that fewer than 10 examples of this coin are known to exist. And when it comes to rare coins, rarity equals value. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for coins with unusual characteristics or errors, and the 1984 no mint mark penny is the holy grail of modern-day Lincoln pennies. These coins can fetch a hefty price on the open market, with some selling for upwards of $2 million or more. The record sale for a 1984 no mint mark penny recently topped $2.5 million at auction. But why are people willing to pay such high prices for a penny? It all comes down to demand. As more people enter the world of coin collecting and investing, the demand for these rare and valuable coins grows. The 1984 no mint mark penny has become a symbol of the booming coin market, and collectors are eager to get their hands on one. If you find one of these pennies in your pocket change, don't just toss it in the jar. You might be holding on to something worth more than you could imagine. Alright, so how can you spot this rare coin in your collection or coin jar? Here's what to look for. Make sure it's from 1984. You can check the date on the front of the coin. This is the giveaway. The 1984 no mint mark penny doesn't have a DS or P mint mark anywhere on it. The absence of the mint mark is what makes it stand out. Equals coins in higher grades, less wear and tear, tend to be more valuable. So, keep an eye out for coins in mint condition. The less wear on the coin, the more it could be worth. So, why are rare coins like this one worth so much? Well, beyond rarity, coins like the 1984 no mint mark penny hold historical significance. They represent an error in the minting process that led to a coin circulating among millions of others without being noticed for years. This mistake has turned into a treasure for collectors who value the uniqueness of the coin and its place in history. Collectors often target rare coins like this because of the story behind them. Each coin has a narrative, whether it's about a minting error or its place in the historical timeline of U.S. currency. And for investors, a coin like the 1984 no mint mark penny is not just a valuable artifact, but a solid investment. As time passes, rare coins tend to appreciate in value, which is why many investors are willing to pay top dollar for them. So, there you have it, the incredible story behind the 1984 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. From a simple error in the minting process to a multi-million-dollar coin, this little penny has made a big impact on the world of numismatics. If you're a coin collector, this is one to add to your radar. And remember, if you find a 1984 penny without a mint mark, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. Now, before you go, make sure to subscribe for more exciting coin stories, tips on spotting rare treasures, and expert advice on how to turn your collection into a $1 million empire. Like this video if you learned something new, and comment below if you've ever found a rare coin in your change. Let's talk about it. 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now you might be thinking, a penny? Worth millions? Believe it or not, this little coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, and it's worth far more than you'd expect. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join us for more fascinating coin stories that could turn your collection into a fortune. Let's start with a bit of history. The Abraham Lincoln penny, or the Lincoln cent, has been around since 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 1991 version may seem like just another run-of-the-mill penny, but it's anything but ordinary. The 1991 penny was minted during a time when the U.S. Treasury was still producing coins with a certain standard, until a small, yet significant, error was discovered. At the time, the U.S. Mint was facing some production changes, and that's where the 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny came into play. Normally, every U.S. penny has a mint mark. This tiny letter, either D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, or S for San Francisco, tells you where the coin was made. But in 1991, something went wrong at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint marks were accidentally omitted on a batch of pennies, which included some 1991 Lincoln pennies. While this might sound like a simple mistake, it created an incredibly rare and valuable coin. Imagine this: a coin with no mint mark at all, something that's almost never seen. So, how can you spot this elusive 1991 no-mint mark penny in your collection? It's quite simple, actually. Just flip the penny over and look at the reverse side, right under the United States of America inscription. Normally, you'd see a mint mark, but on this rare variety, there's absolutely nothing. Remember, only pennies from the Philadelphia Mint in 1991 were affected. So, if you're lucky enough to come across one of these pennies with no mint mark, you're holding onto a treasure. Now, let's talk about the value. The 1991 no mint mark penny might look like any other penny, but its rarity makes it incredibly valuable. Most 1991 pennies are worth just 1 cent. However, the no mint mark version? It can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. For instance, a well-preserved 1991 no-mint mark penny can fetch between $500 to $1,000 in the market, but if it's in mint condition or graded as an MS-67 or higher, it could be worth even more, potentially in the tens of thousands. So why is the 1991 no-mint mark penny worth so much? The answer is simple: rarity. Only a small number of these coins were made, and even fewer have survived in excellent condition. In fact, it's believed that only a handful of these error coins made it into circulation, making them one of the most sought-after modern pennies. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with errors or unique features, and a penny with no mint mark is a true gem. Combine that with the popularity of the Lincoln Cent series, and it's no wonder this coin is worth so much to collectors and investors alike. If you're hoping to find one of these rare pennies, your best bet is to scour through rolls of pennies from the 1991 year or to check through old change you've accumulated over the years. Coin dealers also sometimes have these rare pennies in stock, but they'll likely be priced higher than you'd find on the street. When it comes time to sell, there are a few options. You can take the coin to a local coin dealer or auction house, or if you're looking for a wider audience, online auction sites like eBay are a great place to start. Just make sure to have your coin graded by a professional to ensure you're getting the true value. The 1991 no-mint mark penny isn't the only valuable Lincoln cent out there. There are several other rare pennies that could be worth millions. For instance, the 1909 SVDB penny, the 1943 copper penny, and the 1955 double die are just a few examples of Lincoln pennies that have broken auction records. But this 1991 no-mint mark penny is a shining example of how a small error can lead to big rewards for savvy collectors. So, there you have it. The 1991 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny may look ordinary at first glance, but it's one of the most sought-after error coins in the world. If you find one of these, you could be holding on to a small fortune. 2000 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It's a coin that could easily be hiding in your pocket or collection, and if you find one, it might just make you a millionaire. Curious to know why? Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes, I'll explain everything about this rare coin, its history, how to identify it, and why it could be worth a small fortune. The year 2000 marked an exciting time for U.S. coinage. This was the start of a new millennium, and the U.S. Mint continued to produce billions of pennies every year. But among these pennies, there's a particular one that stands out. The 2000 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is special because, unlike most coins that carry a mint mark, which tells you where they were produced, this penny doesn't have one at all. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia are supposed to have a P mint mark, and pennies minted in Denver or San Francisco have their own distinct marks. But somehow, a small batch of 2,000 pennies left the Philadelphia Mint without the usual P mark. And that oversight has turned this coin into a treasure that collectors hunt for today. At first glance, the 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny looks pretty similar to other pennies from the same year. It has the classic features: the image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what really makes it stand out is what's missing: that little P mint mark. Without this mint mark, it's nearly impossible to tell that this penny was produced in Philadelphia. So, if you happen to find one, it's likely that you have a rare era coin on your hands. So, how did this happen? Well, as it turns out, the missing mint mark was no accident. During the year 2000, the Philadelphia Mint was producing a lot of pennies, billions of them, in fact, for circulation. In the rush of production, some of the pennies were mistakenly struck without the mint mark. Though this wasn't intentional, it led to a very rare error that would make this penny highly sought after by collectors in the future. Now you might be wondering, just how rare is this 2000 no mint mark penny? Well, it's estimated that only a small fraction of the 2,000 pennies produced in Philadelphia lack the mint mark. Experts believe only a few thousand of these era coins were struck, making them incredibly rare. As with all rare coins, the fewer there are, the higher the demand from collectors. So, if you happen to come across one, you're holding on to something that's highly prized in the numismatic world. So, how much is this rare penny worth? Well, the value of the 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny can range quite a bit, depending on its condition and whether it has been professionally graded. In general, a well-preserved 2000 no mint mark penny can fetch anywhere from $100 to $500 in today's market. But for the highest quality specimens, especially those graded in mint condition, the price could reach up to $2,000 or more. What really pushes the value is the rarity and the demand. If you happen to find one in perfect condition, it could be worth even more. In fact, there have been instances where these coins have sold for upwards of $5,000 at auction. But why is this penny worth so much? Well, the answer lies in its rarity, historical significance, and its unique error. Coins with minting errors are highly prized because they represent a mistake, and mistakes in coin production don't happen often, especially not with the precision that the U.S. Mint strives for. For collectors, finding an era coin like the 2000 no mint mark penny is like striking gold. It's not just about the money, it's about the thrill of discovery and the chance to own a piece of history. Alright, let's talk about how you can spot this rare penny. First, take a look at the date. It's important that the penny you're examining is from the year 2000. Then, look closely at the front of the coin, near the bottom right side of Abraham Lincoln's portrait. Normally, there should be a tiny P mint mark there, indicating it was struck in Philadelphia. But if you don't see it, congratulations, you might have a 2000 no mint mark penny on your hands. Now I know what you're thinking, where can I find one of these? Well, your best bet is to check through rolls of 2000 pennies from the Philadelphia Mint. You might also want to check your loose change. There's always a chance that one could pop up when you least expect it. Or if you're really serious about adding this rare coin to your collection, you can always check online auctions or reach out to trusted coin dealers. So, there you have it, the 2000 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A small error with a big value. If you find one, you could be looking at a valuable piece of history. So, get out there, check your coins, and who knows, you might just find yourself holding on to a small fortune. If you enjoyed learning about this rare penny, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more rare coin discoveries. Like this video if you found it helpful, and comment below if you've ever found a rare coin like this one.